pleasant good evening and welcome to SAT TV's Channel 9 Evening News. I am your presenter, Larry Darrow. Thank you for joining us. Among the major developments, Police Chief announces new plans for bus stop relocation. Stanford gets 110-year sentence for $7 billion fraud. Chinese officials apologize to a woman in forced abortion. West Indies Cricket Board selection panel calls up on Kieran Powell and Asad Fudadin. Details of these and other stories after the break. Thank you for staying with us. Now for the details of the news. CADI, Caribbean Agriculture Research and Development Institute, is happy to partner with FAVRCA and DOME on the exercise to expound the establishment of an organic certification in its marketing and distribution system in Dominica. A sensitization workshop which was held on Thursday, June 14th, focused on organic agriculture. Country representative for CADI, Ms. Sharon Jones, says there is organic agriculture within the CADI program. CADI has been working at establishing a pilot organic farm of 4.2 hectares in Trinidad and Tobago since 2005.
This farm was established using organic principles with its buffer zones, its maintenance of biodiversity, and it has developed a system of producing farm inputs within the farm. Okay, the key features of the farm includes multi-cropping systems of fruits and vegetable crops, early croppings with legumes such as Gloricida and Lucina. And I think it was spoken about yesterday about the cover crops, and the CADI does a cut and drop system for mulching, and it also uses the legumes also in composting.
There are over 13 fruit tree crops, which includes sapodilla, cocoa, citrus, sugar apple, mango, avocado, and in 2009 they introduced a commercial vegetable cultivation which includes tomato, sweet pepper, ginger, amongst others.
This wealth of knowledge, why I go through it, is not for Tobago. It is for all countries that have a CADI office. So that we are here, and if there is any information that you want on the farm or how the systems progressed, what species were of great value within the farm that are indigenous, all this information is available to every office, including the Dominica office.
Samuel Carrett, Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Agriculture, says agriculture is very important for us and for food security. We have moved from a monocrop system to a more developed, less vulnerable agricultural sector, said Mr. Carrett.
In the past, say 1979, the 80s, up to about 75–80% of our economy would be blown in 1 hour. Today we have broadened the base. We have broadened the base in terms of production and also output as well. Output is very important, you know. So we might have had a base, a wide base in the past, but that base was very weak. You had a spike in terms of bananas, but for the other crops they were at a very low level.
He says we have created for ourselves a broader agricultural sector, and as a country we should celebrate this achievement. DOME offers us with an opportunity to focus on a part of agriculture that we should be very serious about.
We have a number of non-communicable diseases that we are concerned about, we're worried about. It's costing us a lot of money to take care of ourselves, and it's costing the state a lot of money as well to take care of us. And so if we can find a way to ensure that what we take in largely free of the substances that we are worried about, that we're concerned about, that I think is one of the good things that we probably have done to ourselves. It's important that we take those things seriously. It's a matter of life and death. It's not a matter that we can actually joke about if we are concerned about the use of certain chemicals in agriculture.
Even though we may be concerned about the size of the output, we should not hesitate about organic agriculture. We now join Ms. Nisha Charles in Grand Forks with an update on the road project.
We're here on site at the Grand Forks Road Project with the Honorable Minister, Rayburn Blackmore. The people of Grand Forks have been scared to use their road for some time now. Areas along the road are very narrow, thus making it a serious hazard traversing the road. But soon they will welcome a completed and renovated road to which they can drive with ease. Mr. Ivor Stevenson is somewhat happy that the storm Ophelia did additional damage to the already bad road, making it more of a priority for the government.
God bless, we had Ophelia, which enabled further damage to the road. So we are now seeing massive excavation works being undertaken, and then we have seen a much greater level of safety on the road, and anybody now traveling to these areas might have difficulty identifying the areas previously known as Holdbridge and the Vanguard and Took.
He says that phase 2 of the project should be addressed soon, since we are in the hurricane season and the area is susceptible to landslides.
We are hoping that the work will continue soon, but again it's a matter of how soon the finances will be released by the Ministry of Public Works. So I am not in a position to say how soon, but I would wish as a parliamentary representative to see that the work continues on the project, because this road is vulnerable to slides and we are now in the hurricane season. So I really wish to see that the roads are made safe enough for the users. Yeah.
Honorable Rayburn Blackmore, Minister for Public Works, Energy and Ports, says the Dominica Labour Party made a commitment to improving the road networks in Dominica.
But the people in the southeastern part of the country also suffered tremendous hardship. And Granford was one of the areas where they experienced tremendous difficulties, collapsing of the road edges and causing landslides, etc. And as a result, we are given a commitment to addressing the road condition in Granford and to give priority to that section of road.
He says the government has spent over $400,000 on this road project, and the intention is to have two-way traffic throughout.
What else in thus far is excavation work and the construction of some form of drainage. The intention, in terms of the quantum of work to be done going forward, is to have 300 meters of roadwork and 300 meters of concrete drains. In some farms we're going to have slipper drains and storm drains, because sometimes there will rain, a lot of water. We want to ensure that there is proper outlet and for the discharging of the water.
The project is expected to be completed in 3 weeks. This is Nisha Charles reporting for SAT TV News. Back to you, Larry.
Thank you, Nisha, for that report. Executive Director of the Dominica Association of Persons with Disabilities, DAPD, Mrs. Nathalie Murphy, says that the recent production of their documentary titled Vision 2020 and Dominica, Light in the Darkness, is a true manifestation of the phrase, "You can do anything you put your mind to." Mrs. Murphy pointed out that the DVD is a 4-part documentary where the main part is a 30-minute documentary.
The idea of Vision 2020, the right to sight, is to help to eliminate avoidable blindness. And what we were featuring in the documentary really is the situation with blindness in Dominica, what we are doing as an organization to assist persons who become blind and have no means of rehabilitation. And it also featured the work of the eye care department in Dominica that was handled by Dr. Hazel Schilling-Ricketts.
Mrs. Murphy says that the DAPD saw the need to produce this documentary because the organization recognizes that not much is known locally about the Vision 2020 initiative. She also said that there are many myths and misconceptions in society about blindness, which will be put to rest by this documentary, as Dominicans and other persons need to be made aware of how functionable and independent blind persons and visually impaired persons are and can be.
Another aspect of the documentary was a video where we featured a blind gentleman from the community of Tetmon who lives alone and who highlighted, the way he functions as a person without sight. It also featured myself and my husband at home, how we operate on the domestic level, and also a video, a part of Cricket for the Blind.
The executive director pointed out that this documentary, since release, have been sensitizing the public on the Vision 2020 project while educating them on the lives of persons living with disabilities. She also said during the production of the DVD, all involved were very excited and were in high spirits traveling to various locations in shooting different scenes.
They felt good that they would be recognized, and people would be able to see them in a different light and understand that in spite of the fact that they cannot see, that they can live independently, they can function normally, and that life goes on without sight.
Mrs. Murphy said although persons with disabilities are not fully recognized like they should, she is in fact seeing signs of improvement as they are receiving more respect and support, which is a result of the advocacy and educational programs they have been doing.
I would like to see the organization being more financially stable. We still depend quite a lot on corporate citizens and government from well-wishers, but it is our intention to eventually have projects that will make us more sustainable and we'll be able to provide more services and increase our programs and activities to persons with disabilities. So basically we are looking at how we can position ourselves to become more sustainable.
Mrs. Murphy went on to send a special thanks to the public and the various corporate partners who have been and continue to help the organization in all ways that they can. The documentary was financed by the Australian High Commission and the Optical Services Ltd of Dominica and produced by local filmmaker Clement Richards of Bullseye Productions. Homeowners are being asked to ensure that the environment around their homes are clean and tidy so it will not be a breeding ground for pests and other harmful rodents. This message came from Environmental Health Officer for Roseau Central, Ms. Dilma Charles. Ms. Charles was overseeing a cleanup project on Friday, June 15th in the community of Pond, which is located next to the financial center. She said that this community was chosen because of its location and the fact that it was very untidy, being located at the back of the office, which was a sore site.
So what we've done, we try to get involved with the community people. We're not doing it in isolation. We're working with them to clean up the environment, let them understand that the environment reflects them, their lifestyle, their livelihood. And if people remain in these conditions, they're more prone to become sick. You have issues of leptospirosis, dengue, and alike. And we really want persons to live in a safe and clean environment. And we want them to understand that it's their environment and they can make a difference. Hence the reason why we decided to come here today, to be with them, to let them understand that they're not alone, and we really want to see them make a difference in their community.
Ms. Charles said that in discussion, some of the villagers were receptive to the idea. However, many did not care about the cleaning of the environment, saying this is the job of the government. After advising the residents that this has nothing to do with the government, and since they live there, it is their responsibility to ensure there is clean, many could care less and did not join the team from the Environmental Health Unit in the cleanup.
I don't live here, I don't have to do it, but it's concerned to me because the welfare of the people is what we are concerned about. You have babies living in the area, you have elderly persons, you have young people, and if the environment remains like that, then what happens? People can become sick, and then you have more of a problem when it comes to health, because then it will be impacting our healthcare system. These persons may not be able to afford medication and so on. So it's a whole cycle, but we will continue to work with them because sometimes people live in different areas based on their social upbringing, based on what they believe. It can be difficult, and even the young guys around, we try to let them understand it's not about government, because the first thing they ask me is who's going to pay me to do it. And I said, well, nobody's paying me to do it. I don't have to come here to do it, but it's part of my responsibility to ensure that you as a people have a clean and healthy environment.
Ms. Charles pointed out that the Dominica Solid Waste Management Corporation, DSWMC, sent some manpower to help them in the cleanup of the community since none of the residents were interested in helping.
Well, unfortunately, by the time we got there this morning, they were there. As soon as we got there, they left because they said nobody's paying them to do that. And I had to remind them that you sit there every day, you socialize in that area. Nobody asks you to socialize there. When you socialize in an unfriendly environment, what happens? Again, it goes back to responsibility. People have to understand it's their responsibility for the environment. But in the meantime, we can't allow it to just continue like that. We'll do the best that we can, and we're hoping in the future that they will do better and they will understand the importance of a clean environment.
The environmental officer stated that they will continue speaking with the homeowners, and those who do not comply with keeping their area clean will be served with notices to clean their yard. She said if they do not comply and the notice expires, they will be taken to court, which is not the process she would want to go through, but if it needs to be done to send a strong message to other offenders, it will be done.
But we just want to remind the general public that your health is your responsibility. Nobody is responsible for your health. Your surroundings can be kept clean, and if you do that, it's going to be beneficial for you. We are also hoping to do a cleanup in the Tarish Street stock from Yampis area tomorrow, Saturday. And we want to encourage the persons out there to come out and lend a hand. It's your community, you live there. Most of the environmental officers do not reside in this community, but we know as persons involved in that profession, it is our job to work with you to ensure that your environment is aesthetically clean, to prevent spread of diseases, to prevent people from getting sick, and to ensure that people have a healthy livelihood.
Ms. Charles went on to say that for health purposes, we all need to make sure our homes are cleaned regularly. Bus drivers who have been complaining about the traffic congestion as a result of the relocation of the bus stop from Independence Street to after the Isilobrak Bridge have been advised to give it some time for the arrangement to work. This message came from the Chief of Police Superintendent Cyril Carrett, saying that there are measures which were necessary to ease the flow of traffic in Roseau, and in fact it is working well.
Canefield bus stop is now located on the southern side of River Street between Upper Lane and Great George Street. St. Joseph, Goodwill, Funkole, and Maho buses are occupying the bus stand on the riverbank between Independence Street and Great George Street. Vehicles from the north and the northeast are in the usual location on riverbank between the DC Bridge, that is the Dominica Chinese Bridge, and the West Bridge.
Mr. Carrett says to complement these arrangements, River Street from the New Link Bridge to the Great George Street has been designated as a drop-off and pick-off point for all public service vehicles.
Effective Monday, June 18, 2012, vehicles traveling on Riverbank will be allowed to turn right onto Old Street instead of the usual right on Kings Lane. Vehicles traveling west on River Street will now be allowed to turn right onto Riverbank. Business enterprises located in the immediate area are being accommodated to load and offload.
Private motor vehicle owners are encouraged to make use of alternate areas to enter and exit the city of Roseau, such as the Dominica China Bridge known as the DC Bridge, Hillsborough Street, the Goodwill Link Road, and the Center Romo Back Road. Additional traffic signs are in the process of being installed to facilitate all motorists with the changes.
I commend the bus drivers for their cooperation thus far. I wish also to advise that drivers must comply with the new arrangements, failing which they may be prosecuted.
These changes come as many bus drivers have been calling for better organization of traffic in the area and a better rotation of the bus system, as some have complained they do not make as much money as they did before. We now join Nisha Charles for a special Father's Day Street Talk.
We're here on the streets of Roseau, where I'm getting the public's view on fathers.
Fathers realize that the children will be what they would like to be in the distant future. So I think we are improving in that aspect or in that regard.
We have a lot of mothers doing the role of both mother and father. It's just unfortunate that the fathers that do take up the role do not feel the amount of love that is given at their Mother's Day time.
God is our ultimate father. He's the one that's responsible for providing for all of us, and that's why Father's Day in itself was meant to be big, because God is a big God. But unfortunate but through the whole appreciation of God as being the father of man. That in itself is not up to par.
I just want to give a shout out to my father and to my boyfriend and father to be Dylan Hodge, and my father Pastor Daniel, also known as Griffin Daniel. Love you.
Well, you see, Father's Day is not really celebrated as Mother's Day because, you know, all the kids are more comfortable with their mother than their father, you know. The kids on the whole, they're more with their mother than their father, you know. Yeah, you more love your mother than your father, you know, which is like the mother creation, you know.
This is Nisha Charles reporting for SAT TV News, and do have yourselves a good weekend and a happy Father's Day to all the fathers.
This has been a local segment of the news. Coming up next, regional highlights.